Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Basically Sisters podcast. I'm Ashley.
And I'm Natalia. Happy
Happy Monday.
Monday.
This
um,
Monday is special because we got a
Very
nice little,
special.
we got a special guest,
In the
friend
house.
to the show, friend of the
Friend,
show.
yes, friend, supporter, been on the show. She's not new to this.
Yeah, she's true to this, baby. Come on
Just-
now.
I was waiting for you to add that part.
Come on now. You know who
um,
we got on by the title,
by the
the
title,
one and only Sarah.
Sara F.
Woo!
Clap, snap, clap. We'll add a sound effect for you.
Well,
That's my
Um,
that's the
sound
sound
effect.
effect. That's the sound
oh, I
effect.
like it.
Me
We made it from. I
doing
like
the
it.
burp burp around. It's the
Oh,
Jamaican in
pretty
me.
good. I'm
Comes
weak.
natural. But yes, welcome, Sarah. Welcome back to the show.
Welcome. If you guys
Thank
don't know
you.
Sarah, we did an episode with her back in July, maybe last. Wow, it's been a while. Like maybe
No,
like 8 or 9 months ago at this point. Um,
damn.
and yeah, we did. What was that episode? Free therapy session. That was a
Yeah,
great
ooh,
episode. Y'all
we were
should definitely
chatting
check
too.
that episode out. We said we're gonna do a part two to that one, and we are going to do a part two, but it's coming up. This isn't the last time Sarah's seen the pod, so
Yeah,
she comes
Sarah's
back by popular
basically
demand.
exactly. Sarah's basically the third member of the
Yeah,
show. We always call her if we need a guest,
yeah,
and
basically.
she's
She's here.
readily
She came
available
through.
to chat. One thing about Sarah, she gonna chat with us,
Yeah, we're
and
gonna
that's
chat it
real.
up.
But
But yeah, quick little
yes,
intro.
Sarah.
Well, we'll give you a little preview and you can add to it, of course. But Sarah's been a longtime friend of ours since college. If you all, well, y'all might have already gotten this intro in the last episode, but we're gonna reintroduce her. But yeah, long term friend, um, post college friend of ours. She lives in DC now. She's killing it in her new job. Woman in
Per.
STEM, woman in STEM. You know,
Gotta love it. Breaking
gotta love
glass
it.
ceilings as always.
Latina in STEM. So, another little, accolade. But yeah. Anyways, welcome to the podcast, Sarah. Again, thank you so much for joining us. Feel free to obviously like add anything else to that intro. There's so much more, but that's just like what came to my mind right now. But yeah, thank you for joining us.
Yeah. I'm happy to be here. I always get nervous because I'm like, what do
No,
I
no, it's
Why you
okay.
say?
It's okay.
nervous? It's
I don't
us.
know. I
No,
just
it's
like I feel
hard.
like
It's
I'm on
hard.
TV. Like, what
Yeah,
do I
yeah. That was
do?
very
Okay,
interviewee.
famous.
Let's see. Yeah, so I moved from New York to DC for my job. Recently left that job and now working remotely. So
Nice.
living the dream. Yeah.
Nice. We love to see it. Oh, we'll just do a quick little 30-second summary of like what we're going to talk about today. So, in honor of Women's History Month, we're still celebrating every day of this month because
Okay.
we deserve it. And we're doing an episode today talking about women in the workplace, the different issues that we face or we may have faced, or that in general a lot of women face, especially like women of color, Latinas, Black women, etc. So yeah, and we brought Sarah because of course she's Latina in STEM, and we want to see like her experiences, what she brings to the table, and just we just want to have an open conversation.
Yeah.
Um,
Nice little open
but
forum.
yeah, open forum, just little. It's gonna be like a little therapy session in a way because that's how most of our chats go. But
Exactly.
yeah, so that's kind of what we're talking about. There's a lot of topics that we want to bring to the table, but we're gonna see what ones we get to because a lot of them are hot. That's all we're saying.
Some hot topics and some hot takes.
Hot takes. But yeah, so we'll kind of just like jump into it right away. So Sarah, like how I guess like do you want to give a background on like kind of what your job is or like what your title is, what you are by trade, and kind of like what inspired you to kind of get there at least?
Okay. Yeah. So I graduated from the same college as Natalia and Ashley.
Hmm.
And I got my bachelor's of science in computer engineering.
Hmm.
At first I wanted to be a lawyer and I worked at a law firm and just realized I didn't want to do that. And I got to build their website. So that's when it inspired me. I was like, oh, I can code. Just never been exposed to that. And so once I graduated college, I got a job as a software engineer associate. And I did that for about like a year and 6 months. And now I am a software engineer, no more associate.
Okay.
Um,
We
Put some
see
respect on it.
and yes. And so kind of spend my days just like meetings, coding, more meetings, more coding. So yeah.
Okay. Nice. That's awesome. I know like software engineering, especially like that field is not diverse in many ways, especially I don't even want to know what percentage of like women are in that field, especially like women of color and specifically like Latina. So props to you, like Ash said, breaking glass
Pew, pew, pew,
ceilings.
pew.
um I want us kind of start like back before we even get into the workplace because like how was kind of college for you? We can kind of all discuss this too, like how our majors were kind of being like a minority in those majors. Like how did those experiences shape you? Did any of them kind of stand out to you? um yeah.
Um,
Or what was your
I think
experience, I
when,
guess, doing your major, like with your background?
yeah, so when I started my major, I walked in and the room just had like all white guys and like your
Hmm.
dispersive girls, and like one or two, I think about like three people of color. And then I believe I was the only Latina there. Um, and it was just hard trying to learn something so technical, but also fighting this imposter syndrome constantly.
Hmm.
So, um, and also being first gen, it was really difficult trying to get into this space of like, I belong, but also I can do this work. I'm also capable of doing this work. But one thing that really did help me in continuing this like plight of an engineer, of a Latina engineer, was
Hmm.
I joined the Society of Hispanic Professional Engineers. That's where I met Ashley and Natalia. And I got to meet so many other Latinos who were engineers who were in this same fight with me of trying to get this degree against all these obstacles that we face.
Hmm.
On top of that, I joined my sorority, Hermandad de Sigma Iota Alpha Incorporada. And the sisters also, a lot of them were first gen. Um, and it was just having my community and having this village that really kept
Hmm.
me going in this degree, less than like classmates or peers were. Which is funny because all the people of color in the engineering classes, which I think was common for like everybody, like we all sat together, like we kind of
Yeah.
like in a way separated ourselves from them.
Yeah.
But it wasn't easy. Would not do it again. Um,
0 out of 10.
0 out of 10
Wouldn't recommend.
experience. Would not. Which is funny because even today I was just trying to be more intentional with my day, and so I have my diploma on my wall, and I just stared at it like in disbelief that it says like my name and like computer engineering, because there was a time where I wanted to drop out and not come
Hmm.
back. So it it was definitely have its it definitely had its challenges, um, but I'm grateful for the community and the friends I made through it. That really is what got me.
Yeah. No, I feel that. Shout out to Shep.
Her.
You know, um, like Sarah said, the three of us met in Shep, which is Society of Hispanic Professional Engineers. Um, we won't say. I don't want to throw. We'll just say we had a good time meeting everyone in that club. We have some core memories to remember.
Yeah. Something like
Um,
that.
it got us through some hard times. We'll say that much. It got us through
Yeah.
some hard times because
Yeah. It was a way to
Yeah.
cope. Nice coping group. We're all just
Mm-hmm.
coping together.
yeah, that's oof, yeah. I mean, going back to your community point though, I feel like that is so important. Like in any aspect. Same with like even working full time now. I feel like having a community and finding your people to like confide in and kind of get you through these moments, especially when you're like a minority in these environments, is like so important because I think back to like college, like if I didn't have Shep, like I don't think I would have finished that degree. Because even not even just like the help, like the technical help with things like asking questions and stuff, just the support to like you can
Mhm.
do this, like older peers kind of like, I don't know, helping you, kind of like motivating you, saying like, I already did that, if I can do it you can do it, kind of thing, like having some sort of like role model esque thing. But yeah, I don't know how that was for you, Ash. I know like you were in like a completely different major, but
Yeah. I mean, I really was just in shit because of Natalia. Because she would be like, "Oh yeah, come to the events," and I would just go, and I'm like, "Oh, I actually kind of like y'all. Y'all ain't
I'll
too
stick
shabby.
around.
yeah,
I might stick around for a little bit."
yeah, because Ash
But
was
yeah, for me,
business.
yeah, I was business administration. With a concentration in management information
Oh,
systems.
okay.
So, I got
Say
a little
that.
You know,
IT,
a
you know
little
what I'm
stem
saying?
in there, a little stem.
Got a
Little
little bit,
STEM.
little bit, little bit, little bit. But yeah, for me it was different because I transferred. Um,
Hmm.
so when I did get to like the university that we all went to, everybody like that school, like SOM, is very like tight knit, I guess you could say. And it's a lot of friendships were formed freshman year, and they don't accept a lot of transfers into SOM.
Hmm.
So I was kind of just like, jumping in middle of the 4 years. Everyone kind of already knows each other. And they have their group of friends, da 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 da. And on one, I didn't really know anyone. Two, I'm like, oh my god, this is such a switch from like the level of difficulty of the courses from what I was used to. And I didn't really have anyone that was really going through that, as well as
Hmm.
like that looked like me, that was in
Hmm.
like my exact same position. Like they might have been in SOM from freshman year and they kind of already knew what to expect. So it was very difficult for me. Yeah, it was difficult. I mean, obviously I formed friendships and whatnot,
Hmm.
but there wasn't that many people that looked like me in
Hmm.
business. I did join, and I wish I was more involved in like when I first joined, but I mean that information wasn't given to me. Like they
Hmm.
had minority, business clubs that I didn't know about until like my senior year. I'm like, okay, now what the hell? At this point, I'm done. So, um, but yeah, so I kind of just like Shep was kind of like my little hub of people. Like even though we weren't the same majors, like y'all's majors were hard, mine wasn't the easiest, and
Hmm.
we kind of like bonded over that. So I think it was like kind of respectable. So yeah,
Yeah.
I was also in women in business. That was a club as well, but again, it wasn't. I think when I joined, I was there was only one other black girl in it.
Yeah, those
And
woman
it's a
focus
big group,
groups.
women in business. Like that was
Yeah.
a very big like organization. So
Hmm.
for there to only be like one other black girl at the time, I'm like, yo, this is crazy. But
Yeah.
I mean, that was my experience. You live and you learn. You take that.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes that's how it's gonna be in the real world.
Hmm.
Like I went to an event for my business the other day. It was like a networking event, and I think I was the only woman of color there, and it was over 100 people. So I'm trying to network with all these people that don't look like me, and I don't have like one little, ally. Like, okay, girl, so
Yeah.
yeah. But I mean, I think that just kind of prepared me for like situations that I'll probably end up in anyway. So that was kind of my experience. A little tangent,
Right.
but how was your experience, Natalia?
Mine mine was pretty good, pretty similar to that. I feel like it really prepares you for like the work environment. Not gonna lie, I feel like the work environment is even like less diverse than what it was in college. I don't know if like Sarah, you feel that. Um, but I feel that sometimes. But you know what's interesting though? Like going back to college, I wanted to touch on this, like, and see like both y'all's opinion because Sarah mentioned it. Like your community you make outside is more like they have more support for you than your own classmates. Like I feel like classmates, like I couldn't trust some of my class. There was like maybe two classmates I could trust. I don't know about you guys, but like I don't know what it was. Like there was just like this competitive energy. Like I've had some not great experiences with classmates. Like they do not have your back at all, which is interesting. Like your peers, like I feel like are the worst people to confide in. I don't know if you guys feel the same way, but
I agree. And I also think the I don't think the professors made it any better either. Like made the
no.
environment not competitive. Like they kind of like wanted that. So
Hmm.
in SOM, oh my god. Everybody, what do you get on the test? What do you get on the test? What do you get on the quiz? What do you get on the quiz? And it's like everybody's over here getting hundreds apparently. And I'm like, what? Like, how are y'all doing
Yeah,
this? Like,
agreed.
it's
Yeah.
like everyone tries to like one up each other. I
Hmm.
mean, there's, I think there's, I don't know, maybe in engineering it's a little more competitive, but
Hmm.
a lot of times it wasn't super competitive. Like, you have your group of like the ones that are like, okay, you're
Hmm.
okay, try hard. Like, we get it.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
smart. But then there was also like the other group that I could kind of like relate to. Like, we're like, oh yeah, like I don't know what this guy's talking about at all. Um, so yeah, so it was there is a balance, you know. But I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, it's the tryhards that be the professor like asks someone to answer the question. They're like, right here, right here. Like, all right, we
Yeah.
get it. Like you ace. Why don't it just just
Yeah.
why
Why
don't
do you
you
teach the class?
let
Yeah.
him choose someone that doesn't even know what he's talking about, right? And then he'll actually explain it
Answer
for
the
us
question.
instead
Yeah.
of you just answering it. And he's like, okay, good, we'll move on.
We
Like,
all
sir,
know
I'm
what's
not
going
gonna.
on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, sir, I'm not gonna lie. I don't know what you just asked him, and I don't even know what he said back to you for that to indicate that it was correct and for you to move on. So help me out. But yeah, that was my experience. Like, I don't know if in engineering is probably even worse, honestly.
I think it was. Do you have any
Like,
bad
for real.
experiences, Sarah, with classmates?
Um, yeah. I had a couple instances.
Oh God.
Um, well, okay, I'm gonna give the overall. I think Natalia knows a lot of like engineers know this. There's a group of people in a collective community, I would say, um,
I feel like I
who,
know who this
I
collective
know what this
community is
collective
already.
community is. I think I'm already getting
yeah,
a picture of it.
yeah. So I'm like very selective about what I'm saying.
Hmm.
There's a collective community that were for each other. So if we had homework, they all knew what was going on because one or two of them knew and then would spread it around amongst themselves. So like if they were passing or like doing well on tests, it's because they collectively like knew things about it or like had each other to study with. But if you like, they would never have friends invade this kind of community. It's just like for themselves, unless you were really
Hmm.
close to one of them, then they'll like help you out. But
Hmm.
they were just, and they were in a lot of our engineering majors, and they just kind of help like um, themselves, and also like made the curve worse for like all of us who are doing it on our own because they would collectively pass, and then the rest of us are like, well, we just did what we thought was going to be on it. We didn't have these resources that y'all have.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, and it's just like it was like some sort of like even like with the girls, um, excluding POC women, but like with the other
Yeah. I know
girls,
the community you're talking about. Yeah.
yeah, they would just be like I don't know. It was very competitive amongst like the competition, but
Hmm.
also it's just like they just didn't like you. It's just like
Yeah.
why? So,
I kind of felt that too. I think it's so interesting that like obviously it's Women's History Month and like we're celebrating women, but like it's the competition amongst women is like so annoying. I hate it so much. Like the fact that you're all like in an environment where you're the minority, you're all at a disadvantage, you're all going through the same struggles, yet you're competing against each other. it's almost like, why are we making our lives harder when it doesn't need to be? You know what I mean?
Literally.
Like,
It,
why are we
yeah.
like, I already don't like coming to class. Like, at least smile at me. Like, come on.
Yeah,
I don't
literally.
want to be here. I don't want to be in this lab period. I don't know what's going on. I know you don't know what's going on. So stop trying to act like
Yes.
you know what's going on just to try to make it like I don't know what's going on.
But then it's like also my success has nothing to do with yours.
Right.
So
We
like
can
why
all
not collab? Come
right. Like
on.
Yeah,
we're not
like me shining isn't gonna dim your light. Like we
Yeah,
could all
like
shine together. Why don't we unite? Okay.
literally.
it's giving Mean Girls.
It's
It's
giving
giving
Mean
very much
Girls,
Mean
which is
Girls.
so annoying. I want to leave Mean Girls in. This is the last Women's History Month where I want to even like bring up Mean Girls because it needs to be stopped. I'm sick of it. Let's all realize like
Yeah.
we're all have
We
similar
can all
battles.
win.
We
I
can
hate
all
when people
win.
do
Why do we
that.
have to
That part. We
compete?
could all win.
Why are we competing? We already have to compete with men.
Exactly.
Why do I want to compete against fellow like I don't know. I just don't get it. Um
Like you're still getting paid less too, sweetie. So
I will
we're
say,
all in the same
yeah.
boat here.
No, literally. I will say though, like especially in my experiences, sometimes like I've had better experiences with men than women, like with help. Like sometimes, like
Yeah.
which is sad to me. Like I obviously I want to like if I'm asking for help, I'm hoping anyone can help me. Like God help me. I don't know.
Facts.
I don't
I'ma
know what's
take the
going on.
information from
I'll take
anybody.
the anybody help, please
Direct
help.
download.
Help. Yeah. Help me,
Help me.
please.
God,
Down here.
please,
Yeah.
please, anyone, anything, and no, but I'm just saying, like, I feel like I've had better experiences. Like, I don't know, Sarah, Ashley, if you guys like with asking some men over women, just not every
Nah,
single woman.
it's the glares I be getting. I'm like, okay, guess I'm not
They're like, you don't know
talking to
what's
you
happening.
next time.
Yeah, I'm like, all
No,
right,
literally. Oh my
you don't need
god.
to. I would
Like you
never
don't
say
know
that
that
to you.
calculation?
That
You don't know the
I
depreciation
hate that
formula?
look.
Why
Did you
would
do the
I
reading?
why would I
Did you?
yeah.
Did you?
Yeah.
Did you highlight?
It was in the
Did you go to
PowerPoint.
class?
It was in the
Like
PowerPoint. Yeah. Did you go to like
yeah, did you
okay,
did
pal?
you go to did you go to lecture? No. Okay. Like,
It's
all
just like
right
I
then.
asked you all that. I said what is B and that's it.
Thanks. Like, are you the professor? Because you're giving professor vibes. You're
You
not getting paid
I didn't
professor
ask
salary.
to be quizzed. I'm quizzing your
Facts.
ass. Now you're quizzing me.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like, how did that get spun
Like
back on me? I'm
maybe
trying
you
to
Yeah.
don't.
figure that.
Yeah. Facts.
How
Maybe
did
they
you
really
do
didn't know
that?
what was going on, and
Yeah.
Wait,
they were
fun
just
fact
trying to.
about that. Um, some girl did that to me when I had turned around. Like, oh, like what are we on? Some question I don't know. And she gave me that look. Then homegirl like dropped out the major because it was too hard. But guess who finished? Like, come
Exactly.
Oh.
on
Okay.
now.
Exactly. You know,
Yeah.
who's
Hey.
the real winner?
Hey.
It's not always who was it to who
No, it's
starts, who
She
and
probably
it's
should have.
finishes.
She probably should have befriended you, and she
she
might have
probably should have.
passed
And that's probably her
the
ego
degree.
getting to her. And I don't want to just
Hey.
say this as women, but like why is that a thing? Like a lot of us don't know what's one thing about me is I'm gonna accept that I don't know what's happening.
A
I
hundred
accept that
percent.
and I
Yes.
admit it. I was the one in college to be like, don't know what's happening. I'm asking somebody after class what just went down because I don't know.
Yeah.
Let me know. No, I was the one. Let's get a tutor. Let's get a tutor for the class because I don't. Let's sign a petition to get a tutor because I don't know, but I know you're lost. I know you're lost because I'm lost.
Yeah.
Like I
Yeah.
will accept it. Some
I see
people
that face. I see that
like
dumbfounded face.
yeah, I
You're
see that. I
lost
know
just as
you're
much
lost.
as
And
I
then
Yeah.
am.
everyone like once they see other people are admitting it, like you're right. Like I'm kind of like I don't care. I will admit it. What do I have to lose? I'm trying to work smarter, not
Facts.
harder.
I'm paying for this tuition.
Like
So
I'm
I'm
trying to
gonna
get help.
ask for help.
Yeah, what?
Just trying to get this degree.
Okay.
Literally. Um,
Sheesh.
but yeah, anyways, all right. Well, that was a good little college. I just wanted to kind of like start off with college 'cause I feel like it's very reflective in some ways, teaches you a lot of lessons for like the workplace. So now jumping to the workplace, what kind of like do you see similarities to college at all? Do you think people are like more helpful? Like, I don't know. Do you see like the same sort of do you think it's different? Like, do you think college prepared you for the workplace? I guess.
Okay. I feel like sometimes even the workplace can be as petty as high school. Like some people's attitudes and the way they receive criticism, it's like giving you never grew up.
Mm-hmm.
I think college prepared me in the sense of being in a white space and being the only Latina in the room. And like as I mentioned, having fought that imposter syndrome for so long, and I still do sometimes, but I have a level of confidence where I'm like, nah, I know what I'm doing, or this assurance in myself that I'm here and I can do this work. Um, I think, yeah, it's just like communication with people that you don't know how to communicate. Like I had that in college, or being scared to do something. Um, but I do think the workplace has been better in my experience with my workplace. When I ask questions, like they're always willing to help me,
Mhm.
and they're always like breaking it down for me, and they don't make me feel dumb or anyway, or just speak in a way that makes me feel like I don't belong or that I'm asking a dumb question. Um, so I think my experience has been better, but I think I've also been prepped to be there than had I like not experienced what our
Right.
university had.
Yeah. Right. I completely agree. I think like we went through a lot of those experiences. Like if we didn't go through like all those like how tough it was to like ask questions, like get kind of like made like get looked at like you're kind of like dumb. I feel like we wouldn't have been as mentally prepared for the workplace. But like I feel like a lot of people are nicer in my opinion. Like I don't
Hmm.
find it as competitive, which is interesting because I mean obviously the workplace is so competitive in some ways, but like I feel like I would if I were to look back, I would think the workplace would be more competitive than college because money's on the line. We're in college, we're just trying to get a degree. Like what are we competing
Facts.
for? Like I guess maybe in some ways the same job, but like in general, we're doing this for ourselves. The only competition is yourself. You know what I mean? Rather in the workplace, like yeah, I guess your only competition is yourself, but you're still kind of it's a little bit more competitive in a way because you're trying to compete not compete against your like
Well, it's
coworkers,
like
but
performance based too. Like
performance based,
raises are
right? Yeah.
typically based on performance and
Hmm.
understanding and stuff like that. So like I just think it's very interesting that for both of you that people are more willing to help versus like in college. Like that's so true. Like we're both just getting a degree. Like you helping me isn't gonna stop you from getting your degree.
Right. Like how does this how I guess maybe sometimes when there's like a curve on
No.
I don't see why people are competing so much in college. It's so ridiculous. Like I can't imagine how it is at like Ivy League schools though. I heard it's bad.
I'd assume it's bad.
Oof, gosh.
Oof.
Anyways,
We'll
um
move.
but yeah, talking about like promotions and like money at work, I think we should talk about gender pay. Um and because it's an important topic. And it's a sad statistic, but I'm gonna read it. It's statistic time. Y'all know what time it is.
Statistic time. We gotta have a little jingle. Natalia statistic
Oh,
time.
Sarah said the Carfax, Italia's
Yeah.
facts.
Yeah, Natalia's car facts for real. Just a list of random facts.
I'm trying to bring the context. People can see why we're bringing these conversations to the table. But
Okay.
okay,
Hey, I'm not judging you, babes. Safe space. Safe space.
Safe space. Okay, thank
Do
You do
you.
you
you.
spit out them facts, girl?
You know,
Them
somebody's got to know.
hey, we're crunching numbers. Crunch
We're
your numbers,
crunching number.
girl.
I'm all about crunching the numbers behind the
Yeah,
scenes. You know,
100%. It's Natalia's
um,
favorite part.
I'm like that one. Have you seen that meme? It's a very specific meme. It's like that one like I think he's like a Nigerian actor who like looks like a kid,
Yes.
but
Yeah, I
and
know
he's
what you're
like with
talking
the
about.
calculator.
Yep. Yep.
That's me. That's me.
That's
We have to pop
literally
that.
you crunching
That's me
numbers
crunching numbers, getting stats, for the pod episodes.
for the pod.
Um,
Yep.
yeah. Anyways, all right. So this is just a quick statistics on like gender wage gap, and then specifically women of color. So to the dollar of what a white non-Hispanic man makes. Okay, we'll start off from highest to lowest. So Asian women actually make $1.01. So they make more statistic, I guess, based on like what this was done in 2020. Multiracial Asian women make 98 cents. Multicultural black women make 63
So
cents.
so hold on. So Asian women get paid more than white men?
I guess statistically. Well, Asian white men Asian men are the highest paid in the country.
Oh,
Fun
okay, okay,
fact.
okay.
Yeah.
We're just using
Yeah,
white
but we're
men
just using
as
what the
the
white, this is
bar.
what it's based on. Yeah. The bars.
They're the dollar. They're the
I
dollar.
see. Okay.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Um, I'll go back to the stats. We can just jump back in. Okay.
She's getting
So
back to the numbers.
I'm getting back to the numbers. We had a little technical difficulty, people. So to the dollar, black woman makes 64 cents, multiracial black woman makes 63 cents, and Hispanic woman, any race, make 57 cents. This is just comparing 2020 median earnings of full-time year-round workers by race, ethnicity, and sex. Yeah. And then native woman earned 60 cents for every dollar.
So it's looking like I'm missing some pesos here, is what you're telling me.
I saw a thing the other day that says like for most women, like just any woman, like it's over your lifetime, it's like you're losing $400,000.
Wow.
Oh, nah.
That's a lot of
That's a
money.
house
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um. So
and a car.
that's what I'm
Nice one,
saying.
too.
Um. So that's why I feel like, I mean, I think it's changing. Like most companies, like I think it's very company specific though. But I feel like there's more open conversation about like, or at least salary transparency. You know what I mean? Like knowing what coworkers make at like a similar grade as you. Also getting paid similarly. I just think we're kind of like far behind. Like, cause like I could look up at like higher ups and like they're probably not making the same pay like a woman versus a man, especially if it's a woman of color versus a man. Like they're
Yeah.
probably not. Um, but yeah, I don't know how it's been for you, Sarah. Like, how do you feel about like salary transparency? How have your experience has been with that at your job? Like, how do you feel about it in general?
Um, I think I've made good coworkers, where they were open, with me about how much they make, especially when it comes to pay and performance reviews. And then also, I moved internally within my company, and we have tiers. So I started as a level one, so now I'm a level two, and I have peers in my old job who were level two. So I felt comfortable enough to ask them like, "How much do you make?" And what I was offered was similar to what they were making. So I'm grateful that I had coworkers who would be that transparent with me. Um, but I think it's important to like be smart about it, because I did ask coworkers who like
Mm-hmm.
I trusted, but and I know my manager did this, love him, um, and I think when he was showing me my salary, he was like, "Wow, you are making more than me than when I was your age," or something like that, which is cool. Yes, and I understand I'm making a good amount. However, the prices of houses and cars and things of that nature weren't that expensive or were equal to what you were making that you can afford those things. And at the height that I'm making this money, I could barely afford to buy a home or even think about buying a home, or cars or whatever have you. Like inflation is crazy. So
Mm-hmm.
if I had thought with the mindset that he told me, and I know it wasn't ill intended, but it's just like, okay, but what I could afford at this day and age with my salary is not the same as you, even though I'm making more than you did at my age. So it's just like take things with a grain of salt.
Right. I think it's all very relative. I completely agree with that statement of like comparing, oh, like I made this much at that time. Like the price of everything right now, I mean, with inflation is like crazy this year. Like I
Well,
think most people
with
are
inflation, like
underpaid.
they said, exactly, a lot of people are underpaid because I'm pretty sure I saw a thing that if minimum wage was actually increased at the rate that inflation has increased, minimum wage would be at like $20 to $25 or
Hmm.
something like ridiculous. And
Hmm.
they're over here giving us pushback on $15.
Yeah.
So for him to
Yeah.
say that, I mean, I guess yeah, in that sense, okay, but things were different back when you were my
But
age.
also,
But
if he was like, if he could tell, like, yeah, and this is, he's probably just saying that to be nice, but like sometimes when people say that, like, you have to look at what their salary was and then like put it in that inflation calculator to see what that would actually mean, what that value
Exactly,
would be
because
at this age.
that could
It
have
could have
been a
been
lot of
more
money then
actually.
too.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So yeah, it's interesting. I don't know. Salary transparency is like, I'm so happy it's becoming very like, it's not becoming a taboo topic. Like I hate when people are like, "Oh, like don't disclose how much you make." Like why not? I don't care. I have friends that
Well,
make
but
a lot more than me. Well, no, I'm
exactly,
talking
but
about
they do
like
that. Yeah, yeah, exactly.
they
Like
do,
the
yeah,
higher
yeah.
ups try to make it feel like they know why they don't want you to
Because then
Right,
you
talk
companies
know.
don't,
about.
yeah, cuz they don't want you to
Exactly.
just, yeah, then you
Exactly.
know.
Then you know, like, oh, I'm actually doing better than her, but based on my performance review, I only got 5% increase while she got 7. But I be doing her
Yeah.
work though.
Yeah.
So what's
It
the
makes you,
numbers
yeah.
weren't crunching.
Yeah.
The math wasn't mathing
Mm-mm.
But I think
either.
it's just good in general too to like compare even like outside of your industry, or not industry, outside of your like company, with other people on what they're making, because it gives you kind of an idea of like whether you're paid relative, you know what I mean? Like whether you're getting what you think you need to be getting
Yeah.
or what
By
you
like
deserve to be.
industry standards
Industry
versus like
standards.
your
Yeah. And I
your
think,
company
right.
standards.
And I think there's a lot of factors, obviously. Like there's more than just salary, there's benefits and everything, which I think are also extremely, extremely important. I feel like people don't realize like, because I know people who like make a lot of money but have like no benefits, and I think that in itself is like not worth it in my opinion, because then you're paying like so much a month for health insurance.
Mm-hmm.
You're paying like all these, like you're not getting, like your company's not investing in your 401k, or like, so it's gonna come out of your salary anyways. You know, you could actually be making less.
Yeah.
Um, so, but yeah, I think they're all just like, I'm just glad people are having these conversations now, but I just wish they were like, I don't know, I just wish everyone's salary was public, but obviously they're not going to do that, you know,
Yeah.
because I don't know. Um, but yeah, anyways, we'll jump into a new topic. I just wanted to bring that to light because salary is important, especially for women.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but let's talk about toxic work environments or any toxic experiences you had. Do you have any stories, Sarah, or anything that's happened? And it can be in any internship, past job, wherever.
Yeah. For oh, okay. So I had a work experience, um, where there was a racial incident. And the comment the person made was toward Latinos. And basically like something is all we're good for. And I remember in that moment, I literally ran to my car. I tried to call some friends. I guess everyone was busy. And then I was just like, well, I guess I'll call my manager because this has never happened to me
This was
before.
in person.
This was in person, yeah.
Okay,
I
okay.
and the thing is, the conversation wasn't even towards me. It was I overheard this conversation and I interjected it, and they just kept um, not a back and forth, but they had a comment back, which also just wasn't good. So just
Oh, to
literally,
you? A comment back to you?
yeah, because I heard the
Okay.
comment, and so I stepped in and was like, well, like, who are you to judge people and make a generic statement about like Latinos? And his response was just like, well, it's easy to not make these choices or like to choose to go to jail, like whatever have you. So I just was feeling very discouraged. And so I ran to my car, called my manager. I literally was bawling like in my car. And at the time, I had a very like tough manager, um, like one of those like older people you think would never cry or whatever. Um, and I literally started bawling, and I'm just like, this man made me feel unsafe in my workplace. He's saying these comments about my people, and like he doesn't know anything about Latino America or has never stepped foot in Latin America. Like, how dare he say any of these things? And I started like kind of spiraling, and I was just like, on the daily, I fight these voices in my head, or I fight these standards on the media, whatever we see that tries to tell me what I am when I know who I am and what I bring. But they try to like create this narrative of all we can do, and that's all we are. And I was crying so much and like pouring. this pain I had from that comment that my manager cried. And he was just like, wow, I'm so sorry that happened. And at no point was he insensitive to me. And he explained to me like my options are in terms of reporting this incident to HR and all these things. So, I mean, that person got dealt with, but that was definitely a marker for me. And I wasn't like okay for a little bit. And I had to work with my therapist through it and find a way to forgive this person, not because they deserve forgiveness, but because like I needed to move on from this um, incident. So that was really a toxic environment, and then I went on vacation. So
I
it
know
was what
that's
I
right.
needed.
Nice. Yeah.
So yeah,
Wow.
Sometimes you got to drink a pina colada
Sometimes you
on the
need us.
beach in the
Yeah.
on
Caribbean.
the beach. Exactly. In the sun.
The sun. Whew. Well, thank you for sharing that one with everybody. And I'm sorry you had to go through that and deal with that
Me too.
because that's not fair for one. One, we already feel uncomfortable in the workplace. Two, to hear a comment like that, yeah, it would have been pretty.
Yeah, you
That's all I'm
handled it
saying.
better than me.
Yeah, I was gonna say he
And
lucky
I'm
Yeah.
to
just,
get the right one.
Yeah, he's
yeah,
lucky. Yeah, you didn't he didn't catch us on a bad day because
yeah,
He lucky I didn't
um
get that vacation paid because
yeah, yeah.
literally.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's oh god, I don't know how I'm glad he got dealt with, but damn. Why like I just don't get why people even make these comments in the workplace cuz I feel like obviously people have things to say whatever, but time and place like I'm not saying it's okay for them to say it, but like say it outside of work because one, for your own sake, do they not see how quick people are getting canceled? Like do they
One,
not
like, no one needs your hot takes right
no
now.
one needs your hot takes. You're
You
here to
save it for
work
your
and leave.
wife. Save it for
Save
your
save,
wife.
save
and
for your
your
wife.
kids that
I'm
you
sure
And your
don't
she
want to
wants
go
kids.
home to.
literally.
Exactly. Like,
Oh my
what is wrong with you?
gosh. Damn. That's so like who
Mm.
I already know everyone was looking at him like, why did you just say that? But what would even bring
Yeah,
that
like,
conversation up?
That's the crazy thing. And my therapist asked me the same thing. Nothing in that conversation literally needed to be said with that statement. Like, there was no talk of Latin America. There was no talk of drug smuggling. There was no talk of people. It was about like a machine we're building. That's it.
Yeah, he was just
you
needing to
gotta
get a hot
love when
take,
they put
obviously.
their, yeah, you gotta love when they put their foot in their mouth. Because no one asked for that.
Literally
You
nobody.
just showed your true colors that no one even, like, asked you to show. Like,
And the
Yeah,
okay.
worst
he
part is that then he asked me, because I guess HR got to him. And he was asked me, and he called me into like a room, and we talked, and he was just like, if you ever have any resources, I would love to like know about them, or if you would like to share your experience with me. No, I do not.
what?
Yeah,
You really
Oh
gotta love it.
God,
It's
he
the
just
the
keeps
backtrack for
digging this.
audacity.
me.
He needs something. They probably told him to learn
Wow.
and educate. And that's what he
Yeah.
thought.
That's what he thought.
He thought he ate
He
with
probably
that
had to
one.
do
Let me
he
pull her
He
to
had to
a
do
died.
an in
room.
service. They definitely gave him an in service to do about diversity and
They
inclusion.
gave him a training for sure.
Yeah.
And you were
Unpaid.
required to stay on the screen.
Unpaid.
Unpaid.
Unpaid. You can't skip through.
It's not a lunch and learn. No, no. You're learning.
You're
That's it.
learning
That's
that
it. It's just a
No
learn.
lunch. No
it's just a
snack.
learn. It's just a
No
learn.
water. Yeah. Just sit him in a
Oh
room
gosh.
by himself.
Sit him
Like,
in a room.
put the laptop in front of him. Press play.
Press
Press play.
play. Oh my
Put the
gosh.
headphones in.
I'm done.
We got the over
With
the
a
ear
piece of
ones.
paper.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally. Pen and paper. Answer the
There's a
questions.
quiz at the end.
There's a quiz at the end and he has to manually hand it in. There's no digital version. Like, we really want to make sure
Get through
you
Gosh.
the
know
HR.
what's going on. They're like, write out the question, write out all the possible answers, and then circle the right one
It took oh
by
man.
hand. Blue or black
Jeez.
ink only.
Yeah.
Literally.
It gets so
Yeah.
tiring. It's just like, why do I gotta teach you how to treat me as a person? Like,
That's
do you have no home
Exactly.
training?
I
No,
completely agree with you.
they don't. That's it.
Yeah.
No. Ugh.
I
It's
don't
exhausting.
I think I agree with that. The whole like having to be like, well, not this is obviously not, it's similar but like not similar, but being at work and being like the token person for a specific group and then getting like pulled into things to kind of which I don't mind doing to an extent, you know what I mean? Like I don't mind, sitting on like a panel or going to help recruit. Like I'm all passionate about that. But then like when it comes to the learning and educating part, like again, I'm not going to be against it, but it's also like we already have to do so much. Like why do I have to give you a rundown of like,
Yeah, like why do I have to go do the extra mile? Like why don't you just hire more minorities? Like you could have a
yeah,
huge panel
right.
if you just
Oh,
did what you're supposed to do.
or you could just literally find your own resources online or get resources somewhere else.
Google.
Like Google is, it's just
Al
ignorant to
Gore's
say that
internet is
Free.
free.
you can find so much online to educate yourself. So it's like I get it's different to if you want to learn about somebody's personal experience and say like if someone's coming to you for advice, like how was it like being a woman here, like how did you get to this position, like wanting to know things like that, that's different. But to have to teach somebody on your community is like that's a bit much in my opinion. Not
Yeah,
gonna
he
lie.
told me his handyman was from Honduras too. I was like,
Oh god, he didn't learn
They
anything in that
he
learn. He
yeah.
didn't. That
Clearly
training he
I had to
manual
learn.
the manual quiz did nothing for
the
him.
manual
Nothing
quiz did
stuck.
absolutely nothing. He might need to go to
Wow.
a retreat or a conference or something.
Yeah, he said he grew
Two
up with
day event.
Latinos. Go
Not a
figure.
retreat.
He grew up
Hmm.
with Latinos. He said
That's what
that.
he says. I was like,
Okay.
okay, but you still don't know how
That's
to treat
that's
us.
like
That's
that's
worse.
like oh, I can't be racist. I have black friends.
Yeah.
Oh, and
Mm,
then he said because I also called him out because every time we would order from like a specific like Mexican spot, it was low key in the hood, but it was like bomb. So, he was just like, yeah, I don't go there after dark because I'll get shot or like,
Oh
um,
gosh.
he said
why are you
like
saying this in the workplace?
we
He
also
need okay.
we're gonna order one time, and he was just like, will it give me food poisoning? I literally was just like, you're off the order, you're off the group order. I took him out. I was like, you're not on it
You're
because you
You're
want
not
yeah.
eating
What?
today.
you're
You're not
not getting
eating.
lunch
You're not eating.
from my
Yeah.
girl.
You're
And then he
yeah.
was like, and after this whole situation, he told one of my coworkers who's my friend and was like, well, I'm pretty sure like out of anyone in this office, I eat the most um food from Latin America.
No. Why? Nah, this guy's
Ooh.
problematic.
They love what we offer,
Yeah.
but not us. That's it.
Boom.
Pro life till the life
Wow.
is brown
Ugh.
or
This
anything, but
guy, he said that's great. It's like a white person saying like, "Well, I'm more black than you are because I know how to twerk and you don't."
I know. I listen to rap music.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Where did that come from? Like, okay. I guess you are,
Yeah.
Sally.
Oh
Knock yourself out.
gosh.
Like
What is
what?
wrong with what would possess people to say these things? Think the like again, they didn't listen to the trainings. I don't know
they
if a training's
No.
even
didn't.
gonna do
Now
They
much. They need
they're
skipped.
the ones that need to sit down for the trainings, but they're the ones with their
that
camera
don't.
on mute over here chopping up onions, making food in the kitchen. No, you need this, Becco. This is for you, not
Oh
for me. I
gosh.
already
Yeah.
know not to be
Ooh.
racist.
The salt and pepper
You,
crowd.
yeah,
Yeah.
we are gonna need y'all to sit down on this one. You need to come into the office for this
Mm.
from the smart board.
Oh jeez.
Yeah.
Wow,
I can laugh
that
about
is
it now,
wild.
but yeah, it was
Yeah,
crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, that is I'm sorry you had to go through that, but yeah, I guess at this point just laughable because what? Again, he needs to take his hot takes to his wife, but he's probably doing them at work. His wife is sick of his hot takes.
Facts. The wife said,
She
I'm
said,
getting a
"Wife, I'm
divorce if I
done.
hear one more.
If I hear
One more
one
hot
more,
take,
it's clipped."
separation. I have the
Right.
separation papers right
He
here.
actually said a comment like that. He was like, I didn't mean to like say it like that. Like I think you guys are hardworking people, da da da. And I was
Oh,
just like, just because you didn't mean to say it doesn't mean your words don't have an effect. And he was like, yeah, my wife says that. I'm like,
He needs to just stop
oh, yep,
talking.
yep. Now it's all coming full circle. I know exactly why he's
Yeah.
bringing the hot takes to work. No one's listening to his ass at home.
He
He
rather
can't bring his
he
hot
rather
takes.
lose the job than lose the wife.
yeah,
Clearly. But
clearly.
if he loses the job, the wife's leaving too.
What he
So
needs to focus on is a therapist. Maybe they'll listen to your hot takes.
yeah, he needs to unpack some of those hot takes.
Yeah, because then
Just
he was like, oh, some of them were a joke. And I'm like, you're not funny.
it's not
Let's start with
No
funny. I
one
there.
hate when people
laughed.
say that.
Let's
It's a
start
joke.
there.
It's a joke.
But
Who laughed? I didn't see one person
yeah,
laugh.
he didn't even laugh after he said
What
it.
was the punchline? There was none.
Nothing. Oof. This
Anyways,
is
who
yeah.
God?
God bless y'all. Cause
God
me,
bless.
corporate
Yeah.
America, I already knew from college. I knew because in college it was like Hunger Games, like everybody was bragging about their
Hmm.
internships, da da da. Da. I knew wasn't for me. I can't be fake and phony like that. Like some of these people were like very like, oh, you act a certain way to get the job, but you're actually like a horrible person. And you really low key don't deserve that position. Like someone else deserved
You
it.
actually suck.
Yeah. So I just knew, chow. Because I'm saying, if that was me, Sarah, in that position, they probably would have. I probably would have gotten leave, told to leave. Maybe with
Yeah.
pay though.
I
Maybe
don't
I
know
was
with
what I would
pay.
have.
hoping.
I
But
would have for sure interjected though. I think you said the right thing. Interject. I wouldn't have let that. I would have like what? Oh
I would have went
gosh.
off
I would not
I
have.
know you would have.
because I don't. To
It
hell
was
with this
like
job.
9
To hell with
a.m.,
you.
bro.
Oh, 9
Yeah.
a.m. He's bringing these
Yeah.
hot
That's
takes in the
I
that's
was
morning.
like, at
Yep.
yeah. He
9
didn't even
a.m.
Yep. His wife
coffee
really
pot
said,
isn't
"Keep it
even
mute
made.
this morning." He said, "Keep it mute this
Yeah.
morning." The wife, "Take it to work," and
Yeah.
he did. That's
Yeah,
exactly what he did.
that car ride, they carpool to work. It was mute. She said, "Yeah." She dropped him off and said, "Drop your hot takes off here. I'll pick you up at 5." Like 9 a.m. The
He's had
coffee
enough.
hasn't even been
He's
Bro,
the coffee in the
hasn't been
office hasn't even been
brewed.
brewed by 9 a.m. For him to be
My
dropping
eyes
hot
aren't
takes
even
like that.
open yet. Have I even logged into my computer? I'm still logging
I
in.
Literally,
didn't.
you
I
I'm
literally
still,
just got to my
I'm
desk.
still setting up.
like you got
I
to do
haven't
the
even
lap
said
around
good
the
morning
office
to the freaking.
first. Jesus Lord.
Not even online yet, bro. Like,
Yeah.
Oh
Like I
God,
did
that's
a
hilarious.
hard
I,
shutdown. Like I'm waiting
I,
for the laptop to warm up.
I haven't even put my lunch in the freaking fridge yet, and you're you're dropping a hot take.
Didn't even
Oh
whip out the
yeah,
breakfast yet.
yeah.
Jeez
He was
Louise.
thinking about that one on his silent car ride. He was ready.
100%. It was mute. She didn't even have music playing. She's like, I don't even want to hear sound. I don't want to hear you breathe. I don't want to hear you do anything.
Oh God! All right. Anyways, that's a good laugh. I'm glad we were able to laugh about that one. But and I hope we. Oh gosh. Anyways, all right. We'll do a little bit of a topic shift, something a little bit more lighthearted. Well, I don't know how lighthearted it is, but how is your work-life balance, Sarah? I'm curious. Let's all talk about work-life balance because I feel like, and what is work-life balance to you?
mm,
Because I have a hot take on this, but I want to hear your opinion first.
See,
uh,
that's what that man needed, a podcast for his hot takes that
No,
no one listens
don't give
to.
him a
no, he
That
mic.
doesn't
no one listens
know.
You
to.
want
That no one
to no one
listens to.
listens to.
It strokes his ego because he's like, oh, I got a mic. I can say my hot takes, but no one listens. Like zero
Yeah, that
listeners. Like
man
the
wants a mic
wife,
so
the
bad.
kids,
He wants
they
it
don't
so
listen.
bad.
Uh-uh.
Yeah.
Anyway,
God
Sarah, yeah.
damn.
What's work life balance? See, and do
Uh,
you have it currently, or have you ever
uh,
had it?
mm, um, I think okay, so what work life balance for me is being able to do like what I want and like live to my fullest extent, but also have my income, um, and trying to prevent burnout because I burnt out a lot in college, and so trying to get into the groove of working and like staying in that loop kind of freaked me out for a little bit. So now try to prioritize myself, and thankfully for the job that I have, they're very flexible. So I work 4 10s, like 4 days a week, 10 hours, but that
Hmm.
can be broken up, spreading out like Friday, the weekend. So I kind of make my job work in favor for myself now, because at the end of the day, if I were to clock out tomorrow, forever, they would find my replacement in 2 weeks.
No, I
I
So
say
agree.
that all the
Yep.
time.
I try not to like overwork myself. Again, like with work pay and being compensated accordingly, like not doing more
Mhm.
than the job work unless you're going to pay me more for that.
No, exactly.
But I think overall, like I'm just trying to aim to a point where I don't hate my life, um, and I'm still enjoying it, even if that's the bare minimum for now. So I'm still trying to figure that out.
I like that, honestly. I feel like work life balance in general is something that you have to continue to learn because I guess my hot take, my quick hot take is
Hmm.
that I feel like people talk about work life balance so much, but literally don't have it. They talk more about it than they actually practice it because my thing is like, if you're still talking about your job outside of work, you're still like have it on your mind. You're still working, in my
A hundred
opinion.
percent.
Yeah.
You're
A
still like
hundred percent.
it's different to like quickly be like, how was your day? Quickly give a, oh, this happened, whatever. But like to talk for like multiple like an hour, just like I don't know, or just have that be your primary conversation is your job, unless something funny happened at work. Like, I'm all for the funny coworker
Hmm.
stories. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm all about them. I'm all about the
The
Yeah.
characters at
tea.
work. Yeah, I'm all about the
Yeah.
tea. But to talk about your actual job and like what you're doing and the problem, I'm like, that's not work life balance. You are bringing your work to your outside life, so you don't have it. Or if you're thinking about like a task the next day or what you need to prep, you're again working. I think it's a hard practice to actually like shut your computer down and like stop thinking about it. You know what I mean? Especially if you have a stressful like amount of work to do, they have to think about getting done the next day. Like it's hard.
Hmm.
So I agree, like it's not easy. But for people to say like, "Oh, I have work life balance because I go out to drinks after work," but they still talk about their job. Like, do you actually have work life balance, or are you just like networking right now, talking about your job? Like,
Like
I'm
when
Facts.
do
just
you
curious.
turn off?
When do you turn off? And I don't want to hear about like I hate that that's our main conversations when we get to know people is like, what do you do for work? Like, how's your job? Oh, that's cool. What do you do? Like, and you constantly talk about your job. I'm like, I'm already drained from my workday. The last thing I need to know or do is process what you do for your job or hear about like I'm all for like you do this, great. Love that for you. Awesome. If I have a question, maybe I'll ask it, but I probably don't. Let's keep it. I want to know something else about you. What do you like to do in your free time? What was your high and low of the week? Anything but your job. I don't want to hear it. I'm sorry. That's my hot take. Maybe that's just because I do too much networking. But anyways, yeah.
Oh, I'm crying.
I just hate it. I hate it so much. I'm like, stop talking about your job so much. Like, you don't have work life balance. But
I mean,
anyways,
at least for me, I definitely don't have work life balance, and I'm not gonna act like I do because I
yeah. Well,
don't.
you're an
But
entrepreneur, so
it's
your job is
exactly
basically
so. Yeah, that's my job is to work for my business. Now, am I trying to have boundaries for myself? Yes. Is it going well? No. Because I just have so much there's just so much to do, and especially when it's a one woman show. So for me it's there's no balance. I mean, obviously I have things that I do, like I go out with friends, like, you know, get something to eat, get a couple drinks here and there, but especially now, like trying to network, run a business, learn more about running a business, like, oh, child, it's a lot of work,
yeah.
but I'm grateful to be in the position. But yeah, there's no work life balance for me at this point in this stage.
Hmm.
Maybe in a couple
Interesting.
months I'll be able to
Yeah.
finally wind down. but
Yeah,
I don't really have
manifesting
it.
that for you.
Thank you. What about you, Natalia? How do you feel like you currently have a good work life balance?
Um, I think so. I'm pretty good now at like turning off my computer. I don't like to talk to people about my job. Like my parents sometimes call me on the phone. They like to ask me questions. I'm like, I've made it clear now. They don't ask me anymore, but like I make it clear that I don't like. Even before I started working, I didn't like when people talk about their jobs. I saw the negative effects it had. So like, I don't do that. I tell them like, please don't ask me. Like, you know what I do? Like, there's something interesting. Like that's popped. If something interesting pops up, then I'll say it. But like, I don't know. I think my biggest thing is the exhaustion that's kind of affected my work life balance because
Mm,
working 40 hours a week, um, I mean, I'm blessed that I have like the hybrid option. Like I'm sure Sarah now you're seeing it like working fully remote, like the benefits it has because it really gives a lot of your life back.
yeah.
Um, but I'm just so exhausted every week because when you have to go commute to your job and you're just being at the office for like 8 9 hours a day is exhausting. I don't know what it is about it. It's just very draining because you also have to be more like socially interactive like with
Hmm.
people, and sometimes it's not like sometimes there's people you can actually be yourselves with, but like you have to like put on a persona sometimes when you go to the office, not in like a
Yeah.
fake way, but like it's just part of working in the
Show
corporate
face.
world.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I just find it so exhausting sometimes. That's why like I love my days where I work from home because it just feels like a break. Like I just can just work and that's it. Like I can take my break here. I don't need to like look a certain way, dress up. I can sleep in a little later. Like I don't know. So I'm more working on trying to get my energy back to do things after work because most times I'm like, I don't even know if I want to like I don't know if I want like I want to like meet up with people. Like I kind of have to force myself now, you know? So my thing is I like to do at least one social thing a week, like something I enjoy with somebody, like meeting up with somebody. Because if I don't, like, if I literally just go to work, come home, and chill for a whole week, like I'm by the end of the week, I feel like I didn't do anything, and I kind of feel unfulfilled. But I don't know. I don't know, Sarah, if you feel the same way about being exhausted and stuff.
Yeah, I had to drive like 40 minutes going and coming every day. I was like fully in the office, and that was
Mm-hmm.
like taking a toll. So by the time I got home, I didn't want to do anything. I would just literally eat dinner, like scroll on my phone because I don't didn't have my phone during the day, and then like go to bed and do it all over again. Like it felt like so routine, and I think that's when
Mm-hmm.
I felt my like depression anxiety heighten again was because I
Mm-hmm.
just felt like I had no control over my life and it was kind of just
Mm-hmm.
happening to me. um and now being fully remote and finishing my first week, like I definitely feel like a person again, and that I have time to reflect, I have time to make my lunch, I have time to eat dinner, and I overall just feel more satisfied. Like I went on a walk today. Like that doesn't happen, especially the last couple of months that I've worked fully in office. It's just
Mm-hmm.
you get tired, like you said. I do have my work friends, love talking to them, and there's some days I just don't want to talk to anybody, even my work friends. And
Mm-hmm.
but if you do that, it seems like you're not a team player, or you feel some type of
Mm-hmm.
way, or someone did something to you. But it's like not the case. I just need my space, and that's not really a thing when you're in the office.
Mm-hmm. No, I completely agree. Yeah, I think that's why like I feel like working from home and the whole hybrid thing that's like the pandemic brought was one of the best things to ever happen for those who are blessed to be able to do it, because
Hmm.
I feel like it actually has increased people's happiness because you like you said you have more control over your life in a way. Like you're given this time back that you didn't ever have before and you couldn't get it because you had to go to work every day. You I mean, a lot of people need to work, like they need to pay their bills, they need to do this. So, um yeah, I don't know. I couldn't imagine going back to fully. I don't know how people do fully remote, in my opinion. Like, unless you live like super close to the office, but
Or what do
like,
you mean fully in person?
I mean, fully in person. Sorry, fully in person. Like going to the office every day. Like, I don't
Every
know how people do it. I don't know, but yeah. So, what are things like you do during the week? Like, do you hang out with friends ever, or like, do you like work out? Like, I don't know, call people. I don't know.
I mainly like call people when I get home. just because there's friends that you can talk to that don't drain your social energy, you know.
Mhm.
So sometimes if I have like an issue at work or something in the news, I'll just call friends.
Mhm.
I have my roommates, so I hang out with them. I don't. Again, this is my first week finally being remote, so I'm learning as I go. But I
Mhm.
used to maybe do like a happy hour once every 2 3 weeks or something.
Mhm.
But mainly just focused living my life on the weekends, which
Mhm.
is annoying. So yeah.
Yeah. I That's like another thing, like the living for the weekends. I feel like that concept, I hate that concept so much because we really only get
Mhm.
2 days. And I feel like really a day and a half, I'm being honest with you, because I feel like Sunday, like at least half the day you're preparing for the next week. You
Yeah.
know, if you, which like is like if I don't do that, then I feel like just a hot mess the next week. I don't feel good. But like I hate that, like living for a day and a half or 2 days, like that really shouldn't be like I feel like we should be able to incorporate something into our work weeks, you know. Um, but that's if you're given the time, obviously, and if you have the
Hmm.
energy. Um, yeah, I don't know, honestly. I also don't know how people, then there's a complete opposite too, like people doing something almost every night of the work week and then going to work the next day. Like I personally, like that's a lot for me. I can't. Um, I don't know if that's like a New York City thing or what. Like I don't know how it is in DC, but like I feel like New York people are very socially active and they're like always out and about, which kind of motivates me to get out. But sometimes I'm like, all right, like I need to chill. I can't
Yeah,
do
like
anything
what
after
jobs
work.
y'all got?
Not for
No,
real.
literally.
Cause I be tired.
I'm
Yeah. No,
tired. I'm like, I can barely even focus the next day because I'm just so exhausted. But
from yesterday. Well, yeah, there's some people definitely here that like they'll go out to eat every other day of the week, or
mhm.
go out like consecutive weekends. And it's just like I need time to recharge, y'all. Like I can't.
Yeah.
I'll see y'all next function, but leave me out.
Facts. Don't even send the invite. I
Don't send
understand.
I'm weak. Oh gosh. Anyways, well, I'm glad you are starting to get your work life balance, Ash. Maybe that should be your goal for the next 6 months because it's important. Yeah. Um. But yeah, Sarah. I guess we can wrap it up this conversation. But any last like I guess tips or like what you've kind of learned from your past like few years in like corporate America, like life lessons. I know that sounds kind of deep, but like
Mhm.
I don't know. Anything you want to pass on? Any last
Uh,
thoughts?
I guess like make your job work around you and not the
Mhm.
other way around, because then
Okay.
you get stuck and it makes it really hard to get up in the morning and like
Yeah.
find your creativeness and like what you want to do, what kind of life you want for yourself.
Mhm. Yeah, that's a
Yeah,
really
I
good
think it's
point.
like a mind shift change because I've seen a
Mhm.
lot of people say that like they treat their job as like a side hustle and like their real life actually starts like after they're done like with the day with their job.
Yeah, I
So
like
that's
that.
like where they actually, do things that they enjoy. That's what,
Mhm.
they just treat this as like a side hustle like, no, I'll put some energy towards it, not putting my whole heart
It's
and
a big
soul.
ass side hustle.
Yeah.
I'm
I
kidding.
mean,
I'm
yeah,
kidding.
but still, you're
No, I'm
so
kidding.
annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree.
That's a
I
good
like
one though,
that
Sarah.
idea. I like
I
that.
mean, but
What
again, would be remiss of me to not acknowledge it. That's a privilege in itself to be able to
Right.
choose that.
Exactly.
true.
I completely agree with that. Yeah. We're talking, yeah, from I feel like a lot of our points today might have come from a privileged point of view, obviously, because, we're in these positions where some people would dream to have like where we are. And I'm not saying we're in any bad position. I just think we're just talking about some of the struggles that we face. But I'm sure we all
I
feel
mean, I
blessed to
think
be
even
where we are.
us, I mean, if we go back a couple years, like we were like,
Yeah,
oh
we were
wow, like
praying for this. Yeah.
yeah, we were praying for this. So, I mean,
Hmm.
just because, back then it was something like, oh my God, seemed unattainable and it seemed like
Hmm.
it would be a perfect situation. I mean, every situation isn't going to be perfect. So obviously there's going to be flaws that we experience, and
Mhm.
we have microphones to speak about it.
No,
So,
exactly.
but yeah, as you said, we also definitely have a privileged point of view as well. So, but
Yeah.
Natalia, any thoughts from you?
Oh
Any
gosh,
any
I don't know.
quotables?
Any one-liners this week? I don't know. I'm a little
Yeah, waiting
exhausted.
for the one-liners.
Um, Similar to what Sarah said, your job isn't your life. We work to live, not live to work. I know that
I
sounds so
was I
corny,
was just about to say that.
but that's exactly what we're like. That's the point. Like we're not. I'm not living to work and climb and get to all these things. Like, I think that's great, but I'm working to be able to provide for the life I want to have. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Um. So yeah, that's basically it. What about you, Ash? Any last one-liners?
I'm not gonna lie.
We covered it all.
I think we covered it all. I don't have anything else to
We're also
say,
all
really.
really tired. Talking about exhaustion, I could just tell right now, like
Yeah.
we are all mentally exhausted, and we deserve a good night's rest.
Yes.
You know, for Women's History Month, for the work
Just
week.
in
Yeah,
general, the life
For
we
the
over.
have lived
culture.
thus far.
Please let us rest tonight. But yeah. Anyway, Sarah, thank you so much for joining us this week. I feel like we had a really good conversation. She'll be back on in the future. Don't worry, y'all. Um,
Thanks.
Follow her on. So, do you want to just shout out your social media? She's got a TikTok page
Oh,
that you guys
TikTok or
can
whatever.
follow. No, it's not
I,
little. It's big. It's big.
It's
Give her a
big.
follow.
It's
thank you, thank
big, and
you.
Okay.
it's gonna grow even more because she's remote now.
Yeah.
Oh,
Content about to go crazy,
it's about to
So
go
go
crazy.
and
give her a follow.
I'm patiently waiting
Yep.
I know you are.
for the content.
My TikTok is at Sarah Stephanie and two underscores. I changed it recently.
Okay.
Um, yeah,
She
so
said
follow me.
rebrand.
She literally.
Rebrand.
She remote now. She don't know how to act. She don't rebranded her whole life.
I'm done.
You don't know her.
I'll be
This
chatting.
ain't the same Sarah.
It's not the
Yeah.
same.
But
She got things to say.
No,
okay.
literally.
Yeah. So follow me on there.
All right. Cool. We'll give you a follow. Um.
Thanks. Do you want to put the people on to anything, Sarah? Our
Oh, yes,
guests?
I do. Okay, real quick, real quick. So
Sarah's been waiting for this one.
Yeah. She's
I
got some
was waiting
music
for
Clearly.
this one.
going.
She's ready.
Nah, because I was in Grenada 2 weeks ago and there was a lot of soca
She's
music.
she's
Okay.
international, y'all.
Yeah. She's
Okay.
over
I'm just
here.
letting y'all
She's
know.
catching flights.
That's what.
And no feelings
No
involved.
feelings.
As she
Um,
should per.
so there's a song called Come Home with Skinny Fabulous and Nyla Blackman. That song has been on repeat since I got there and got off the plane and have entered the work week. Like, it's a
Okay.
great
We'll have to give it
song.
a
There you
listen.
go.
Maybe I'll get into it
And
tomorrow.
yeah, yeah. And then Becky G came out with a new song with Omega, which I
Oh,
haven't
I
really
haven't
heard from
heard
him.
it.
It's real good. It's called Arranca.
Max, what happened to Omega?
I know. He came back. And I was like, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, those are my two right now.
Nice. All right. Well, Sarah put y'all on this week, so go give it a listen. I know it's fire. You're welcome. We gave y'all a break from Ash and I's music because, we be throwing it at y'all every week. So we decided to give you something new,
Facts. We wanted to give y'all, an outside
an
perspective.
outside
Y'all
perspective.
kind of already could probably predict what we
Yeah,
going
yeah. You
to
already know what we're
listen to.
listening to.
So Sarah,
Um,
Sarah brought the soca.
yeah. Go give it a listen now. But
Yeah.
anyways, all right. Well, it's super late. It's 11:30 here, but thank you so much, Sarah, for joining us. As always, we really appreciate your insights and blessing our pod, with your
Yet
stories, with your
again,
takes, yet again. And she'll be back, don't worry.
I love y'all.
Um, but yeah, we love
love you
you.
too.
And of course, everyone, y'all know what to do.
Y'all know the
Rate,
routine.
share, subscribe, follow, review,
All that good
All the
stuff.
all of
things.
All the
it.
stuff that you know you should be doing.
Do
Just
Go
that.
continue
do
to
it.
do it.
Go
I
do
know
it.
y'all are doing it. We appreciate you doing it.
Hmm.
Just keep doing it. Make it a habit. What is it, 21 days?
Yep,
Keep doing it for 21 days. And it'll be a habit. We don't even have to say it anymore.
exactly.
You don't have to hear this at the end of the podcast every week. What's bombarding you with tasks and things to do. But anyway, I'm
Anyways,
exhausted.
We're
We
all
hope you guys have
exhausted.
a great week.
Day. Oh, this is our last episode of Women's History Month, and we hope you guys enjoy the rest of Women's History Month.
Thank you,
Till
everyone,
then,
for listening. Thank you, Sarah, again.
No problem.
We
thank
love
you.
you guys, and we
Love
hope
you
you
all.
guys have a great week.
See
Bye.
ya.
Bye.